Welcome back, everybody. We are the Gambling Guys, and we are coming to you from the Pull Tab Sports Network in the Cub Content Studio, David. And we are really excited to be here today. This is episode number lucky
13.
13, David. Sal, 13. You've put up with us for 13 episodes. Can you believe that?
It's flown by.
It's like if you wake up in the morning and that's 13 hours later. Half of our day we'll never get back. Right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. This is time spent with David that I will never get back.
The good news is many people probably listen to us on Spotify at 1.5 speed, so maybe they've only invested 6.5 hours, 7 hours, something like that.
What I'm hoping is happening is people are listening to us and going to Cub Foods and getting some food and having a nice meal while they listen so that they don't waste all of their time. Right. So if you're out there, shop at Cub. Great produce, great food, great meats at great prices. And there's always or usually a liquor store attached to most Cubs.
Just going to say that.
You can grab yourself a nice beverage, and they even have THC drinks now, which is kind of becoming very, very popular, I know.
Do you have a favorite one, Pete?
I had this one last weekend. It was a I forget the brand. It was Trail something or other. It's the one you and I had it. It's got the Arnie Palmer.
Half and half. The lemonade one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Trail something. They're in cans, 12-ounce cans. Those are really good. They got 4 or 5
think I'd
different
like that
flavors.
one.
You would like it.
Yeah,
I
very
think
good.
they come in 5 or 10s.
They're
Maybe even 3s.
The ones I had were 5s, I think. I had them on Memorial Day weekend. They were good. So agenda-wise today, stories from the road, because you and I have not been able to spend a lot of time together in the last month. And we've each probably visited, I want to say, 3 or 4 casinos. David's like,
hypothetically.
Hypothetically, David and I have been to a lot of casinos in the last month separately. But if anyone out there is related to us, you didn't hear that. Just pretend you didn't hear that.
Well, I even kind of cheated on you. I went to the casino, didn't even tell you, and then I uploaded it to our Instagram page. And I think it was one of your daughters or you, then your wife or somebody say, when did you go to the casino?
It was my wife. She goes, when did you hit this bull thing? And I said, I didn't hit the bull thing. She goes, well, you posted it. And I'm like, well, I didn't post it, but David did. And so you didn't even tell me you were there. So today, want to talk about that. Want to talk about the different feels around casinos, because when you do walk into a casino that you haven't been to, there's a different feel and a different anxiety for me anyway. And then a little bit about gambling with other people. Like I'm very comfortable gambling with you. I'm comfortable gambling by myself. But then I just recently went on a golf trip for a couple days and gambled with some buddies, and it wasn't the best of experiences just because we just hadn't, I think it was just not being familiar with who I was gambling with or what their
Was that it, or was it guilt?
I was cheating on David.
Cheated on David, yeah.
That's great.
That's a great one, Sal. So let's talk about that, and if we have some time, let's talk about some prop betting, because I know that you had some fun with some of your prop bets, and not necessarily the bets, but the feeling of being with family and having fun, because that's what gambling should be. And then if we do have time, I'd love to cover, if we do have time, but we can certainly do this at the next podcast. We'll give you a teaser later on the next podcast. But I'd also like to talk about the Minnesota gambling laws, because there is something at the legislative level to bring sports betting to the Indian tribal casinos here in Minnesota, which would be really great as well. So let's start with casinos. What casinos in what states have you been to a casino in the last month, David?
Well, I looked in Florida, and it was a little bit too far of a drive to go 3 hours.
Okay.
So it was just Wisconsin. Coming back from Madison, you got to stop one time on the way from Madison, right? It's a perfect, about a 4-hour trip. You got to stop once, get gas, or go to the bathroom or whatever. So I decided I'd stop at Ho Chunk in Black Falls, maybe?
Black River Falls.
There you go. So it was like 4 miles off the road.
It's funny, I know where that is. Yeah.
Have you been?
Yes.
Nice, clean casino.
Yep.
Doesn't have much for table games. Not that big.
Yep.
And there was hardly any video poker. But to your point, like going in there, it was new. Like I look at it as a new thing to kind of be able to walk around like a new golf course.
Do you get excited walking into a new casino?
Do I get excited walking into a new casino?
Well,
100%.
Yeah.
I just told you I planned a stop on a trip.
And this was like...
And for the record, and for everybody else, I had no problem cheating on you.
So You didn't feel the guilt that I felt.
No, because then I went 2 days later to
Wow.
relax.
Well, that tells me a lot about our relationship. So you went to Mille Lacs, you went to Ho Chunk Casino,
Ho Chunk.
and have you been to Hinckley lately
No,
at all?
those are the only two.
Only
Those are the
two.
only two with some travel and work stuff. I hadn't been able to get out, and with you, I know we're gonna head there in a couple of days. But Ho Chunk for me was just to stop and break it up, and I was gonna try to be there for an hour
Okay.
because I didn't want to hit traffic coming back. And I gotta tell you, that hour and 20 went fast.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I found there was only probably 6 or 8 video poker machines. The rest were those 5 reels. And so I played a little video poker, didn't do the greatest. Walked over and found this Toro machine, the 5 reel that I posted. But I got to be honest, that was a lot of fun. I hit the bowl thing, and it was the extra spin. See, I don't know much about it, but last episode when you said you're starting to like them, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't say I like them. I've crossed that line. I like them now.
So what?
I
did
do.
you-
I
What?
didn't have to think.
How much per spin were you playing? Were you
It was like
maxing out?
3 or 6. I usually don't go the top $6 or $8 a
Yeah,
spin.
yeah.
I usually do the one right below it.
Yeah,
But don't they still give you the category to win, like the grand? I think
they do.
the major grand.
Yes.
So I think I threw in 100, and you'll see if you watch the video. I think I was on like the 3rd or 4th free spin.
Yeah.
And I think I just missed out on the dollar amount, and I kind of was like, bummer, kind of thumbs down on the video.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the bull stomped and it started to come down. I didn't even know what the hell was going on. And it just kept coming down and it's big win. And I think I cashed out for 500 or something like that.
That was funny because
Yeah.
that's what Mrs. Prop at Pete said. She's like, "When have you played Toro?" And I'm like, "I haven't, but I know someone who has."
You know what I did do at the end there? Because there wasn't any blackjack or any other table games.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of electronic blackjack.
And did you do okay there?
Yeah, I
Or-
think I made $50. Honestly, I put in and I was like, I'm gonna bet 10, and then I'm gonna do 50, and then I'm gonna do 20. And I was like, why don't I just bet 50 and try to win 2 in a row for $100? And I don't know. I think this is the conversation you and I have had is,
Yeah.
do you do it for entertainment or are you going up to try to double your money? And sometimes I think you do it for both. For me, I was just killing some time and breaking up a travel. I ended up winning, I think, $200-300.
Yeah, and I can't recall how far off the highway is the Ho Chunk
4
and Black
miles,
River
I think.
Falls. Yeah. I felt like it was a little bit of a drive. The one in Wisconsin Dells is a little
It's
closer.
right there, I think.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right off the highway.
But that was good. And then I went up. Mille Lacs had a Ski-Doo giveaway or something, and I wanted to see if I could get my name drawn up there, and played a little video poker for Friday night for 3-4 hours. Again, had no problem without you.
This is
I
really.
just
That's
looked
like the
straight
3rd
at
time
you.
he said that.
Are we
Pete.
breaking up right now?
No,
Is that
no,
what's
no,
going
we're
on?
actually getting closer together.
Okay.
This is episode 13, and we need to, right? We haven't been here for a while.
Oh, so we're airing like our differences so that we can come closer together.
I
Is that
cheated
what we're
on
doing?
you, and I'm coming back.
Oh, okay. Well,
that-
I can tell you that I cheated on you a lot.
I was going to say, I cheated on you twice. How many times did you do it?
So in the last month, I've had trips to Mystic twice or 3 times with Mrs. Prop at Pete and some family. Both times, we actually really fun. We go up for a like an evening on a Friday or Saturday night, and they have a house band that plays by the bar up there in Mystic, or down there in Mystic, and we get a couple slot dogs, which is hilarious.
Do you really?
$2, yeah. It's kind
How
of
have you-
become the tradition
How have you done with those?
with the slot dogs. You mean digestively?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That sounds like a real concern.
Well, I mean, you
They
think
did.
about.
You see his face. I mean, I'm sure on the camera you'll see it. He was concerned. He's still wide-eyed
I've been
about
hungry
it.
up there, and she's come by and been like, slot dogs, and I've been really close, but I've never pulled the trigger because it feels like Russian roulette. Speaking of a trigger,
I think mustard has medicinal qualities that kills off stuff.
did you keep it off your shirt?
I did keep it off my shirt. Thank you for asking.
Okay, I'm sorry to break it
This
up.
might
But I
even
always
been the
pick on
shirt.
you. But yeah, this is great. So you're
So-
there, you're listening to the band, you're having some slot dogs.
Slot dogs and a couple of beers, and then we go and gamble, and everybody kind of goes their separate ways, and we do some group stuffs too, so that's fun. But just going back to the number of casinos that was there, and then I had to run out west a couple times, so I stopped at Diamond Joe's in Iowa, the Iowa-Minnesota border, a couple weeks back, and they were giving away. This was interesting for first-time players who were not part of their loyalty club. If you lost $300, they'd give you the $300 back in free play.
How do you prove that?
You have to sign up for the card and then put it in the machine.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
So they're going to track it.
So and then they said a week later you'll get an email that kind of gives you your 300 in free play, and sure enough, a week later.
So did you do it prior to playing, or did you see it during or after and decide to sign up later? Or how did that work?
I may or may not have lost 100 or two before that. And as I was walking out the door dejected, I saw free $300 if you sign up for our loyalty program.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you then turn around and spend $300?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Sorry.
I went straight to the loyalty desk and signed up for a card, and they had to validate that I had not been in their system before. And once he did, the customer service agent, he said, okay, here's your new card with your name on it. Go stick it in the machine, and if you lose $300, we'll pay for $300. And I thought, why not try? Because I'm a gambler. Why not try? And if I win something, I do. But if I lose $300, I'm protected, and I can gamble here once again. So that's what I did.
That kind of gives you the free ability to take a little bit of risk with some things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
right?
You're exactly right. And that's what I was going to say, Sal, is it's a very good point. Is I played some $2 limit, $2 hand, so $5 max bet jacks, one-eye jacks. Because that's one of David and my favorite games. Well, it's mine now since he's been cheating on me. And so I did not win anything and went through it pretty quick. But I thought I'm protected.
So did they send you the email?
Yeah.
So now you have this email that you're presumably going to go to the loyalty desk or the cashier and they'll give you the money?
No, it's on my card now.
So it's like free play.
So the next time I go in, now granted, it's free play. I can't go up there and say, give me the $300. They just were exchanging $300 in play for $300 in free play.
Yeah.
Is it limited to what you can play?
Well,
They got table games, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, they have live craps down
you know,
there.
Yeah.
that's a really good question, Sal. Whether I could go to a craps table and say I want $300 in chips to play craps. I'll report back next time. I didn't.
Can I go with?
Well, we're gonna be there. I think we need to get back together, don't you?
I'd agree.
Yeah. So we've already
we're back in.
We've already got a date planned on Saturday to go to maybe.
So I think I
someplace.
was telling you when we were driving over here because the power was out, and so we had some time to get over here. Sal, did you know that the power was out?
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
Oh,
That
oof.
was brutal.
It was
Yeah,
a little
traffic
brutal
was a
getting
little
over here,
brutal,
but we were talking, and I got an email from our MGM person that said, if you come out and there's 2 weekends in August that are probably really slow in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a
hotter than-
similar offer like to Diamond Joe's that they said, you come out here and we'll put you up for 2 nights, give you X amount in resort credit and some free play, and you get a cruise credit. And you guys took that cruise, and I think we're going to do that same thing.
We did. We took
So-
that cruise this last year.
I mean, why not, right? If you're playing and we're going to go out there and pick up the cruise certificate and hopefully take a cruise in the fall. And that's why you keep using those player cards. Now, I'll part of this is us talking about superstition and things like that. There are times, get me wrong, Pete can probably attest to this. I pull my card out just to kind of break it up.
You do,
There are
yes.
times that if it's on a bad roll or I'm not just feeling it, I'll pull that card out. And sometimes I'll start over and play without it for a bit. But I would say for the majority of it, it's just a random number generator. And you want to get the credit because lots of times it's free play. It's points to rewards. And then the other thing is comps. Like how many times have we got pieces
Right.
of pizza and ice cream? And well, look at us.
Oh.
Ice cream and pizza.
Well, we just ate pizza on the way here. It was our pre-meal. It's funny because I was thinking about you and how you will pull out your cards sometimes. And theoretically, and I think it's true, but we're all very superstitious as gamblers. You think about, well, if I didn't have my card in, would it be different, right? Like, would this be different? And so you do pull your card out. I don't know. I don't think there's any difference to it, but I definitely have my superstitions. Like there are certain things that I'll do and there's certain things that you will do that you try to improve your odds, but it's probably just
I think it
human nature.
breaks the random number generator. In my head, at least. No, here's the thing. Because you
Okay.
and I have been playing.
Okay.
Do you remember the time we were down at Mystic and I had my card in, right? And it was your turn to sit down after a 4 of a kind. You pulled my card out
Okay.
and put yours in. Do you remember this?
I don't.
And you ended up hitting something right after that.
Okay.
I don't. We were on that far. Anyways, it's just superstitious, and I think this is part of the thing about why Pete and I wanted to come on to the Gambling Guys. Is you're not getting advice for the game on Thursday night or Sunday. We're not going to be that
Right.
close to the line, and we love to do it. We do it for entertainment, and we hope that you guys are listening and you do that same thing for entertainment because
Agreed.
You asked me the question. Did I get excited going into a casino? Yes.
Yeah, you always do. But
I love the entertainment part of it.
so let's stick on that subject for a second because it's one of the things I wanted to talk about today. I always feel like my attitude impacts how I do in a casino, and whether it does or it doesn't, and whether you believe in the force or whatever you believe in, if there's something out there spiritually that's helping you, whether it's the gambling gods or who it is, I always find that if I have a piss poor attitude, I'm probably not going to do well. And maybe that's just me noting that in my own head that I had the piss poor attitude and therefore I did poorly, and I'm just connecting the two dots. And it's not, but when I walk into a new casino, like when I walked into Diamond Joe's, and then obviously I played in Iowa, Sioux City, Iowa, a couple weeks ago, or a couple days ago actually, at Hard Rock there. And I just didn't have the right attitude. Like I felt like I walked in saying I'm going to lose money. And what did I do? I lost money.
Do you think it was because you were cheating on me?
Yeah, it might have been the guilt. Sal's not even on a microphone. And he's
You
laughing.
can hear him laughing out. But I think okay. So we all golf, right? And have
Yeah.
you ever got up to a 10-foot putt and thought you were going to miss it and make it? Never.
Never. Yeah, you're
Never.
right. You're
You ever
right.
get up to a hole and like, oh, how can I hit the fairway? Did you ever hit the? No, you never hit the fairway when you have a bad attitude. I think there's something to be said about that. I'm not saying that you're pushing that red 7 and lining them.
Yeah.
Right, but I can tell you that time we hit that natural on that $2,
Yeah.
we were talking about it and we both felt it. Like there was an element of that piece of it, and so
Yeah.
I think you just kind of try to break it up. And
It might be a little bit of you want to feel that way, so
Yeah.
you remember it that way, but that's okay too. It really is. Have you ever felt that way about a Stoli shot of vodka?
well, I was just going to say, talk about entertainment, right? Some people, and talk about moderation. Stoli will be the first to tell you to make sure that you're enjoying it in moderation.
That's
right?
a very good point.
So Stoli's been a sponsor of ours. They're right behind me if you're watching on YouTube with us. If you're looking for a vodka with unparalleled purity and unmistakable taste, look no further than Stoli Vodka. Distilled with the finest European source grain, Stoli is perfect for mixing into cocktails and savoring on the rocks. They got a ton of wide variety of different flavors. You can pick yours up at the local liquor store today.
I was going to ask you that. They have plenty of flavors. It's amazing the number of flavors that are out there, and
Really
Stoli
smooth
seems
and
to have
good.
perfected that, So we thank them for their sponsorship, and we certainly think a moderated glass of Stoli when you're sitting down watching the ball game is not a bad thing, right?
You got it.
So enjoy.
So Diamond Joe's, you got 300 coming in credit.
So
We'll
Diamond
figure
Joe's,
that out, and then
Hard Rock
Hard
Casino-
Rock Hard Rock's its own, and they're going to open one in Vegas, I think.
They
They've
are.
got a few in Florida.
They bought
right?
the Mirage, didn't they?
Yeah, and they're going to knock it down.
Yeah.
Was it big?
It was it was probably the size of Turtle Lake. Maybe.
Whoa.
Maybe even, it's probably Turtle Lake size. Maybe a little bigger.
You mean Treasure Island or Turtle Lake?
Turtle Lake
So small.
in Wisconsin. Yeah, it wasn't very big,
I
but
suppose it's a small community.
they did have a live table game. So they had craps. I
Yeah.
played some craps with some buddies. I played the dark side, by the
I was
way.
just going to say, did you okay.
My buddy was pissed because I played the dark side.
He was rolling?
And I won and he lost. No, I went all the way around the table playing the dark side. And there were a few folks who didn't really understand that I was playing the dark side, and there were some cowboys there with cowboy hats, so I thought I was going to get my ass kicked.
Did they we've said this before.
Yeah.
Did they besides your buddy, did they know you were playing the dark side?
No, but it was 12 at night, too. So I think there were plenty of libations
Yep.
being drinking. And so I don't think anybody noticed. And, of course, when you're playing the dark side, you certainly are a lot less vocal than when someone hits a point.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like I didn't scream, yeah, every time somebody crapped
Yeah,
out.
big red. Like
Yeah.
you keep saying 7, which you're never supposed to say, right?
And 2 or 3 players came out with a point rolled 2 more points,
And
then crapped out.
And that's the dark, like Dieter had said that, right? If
Yeah.
you can, and there's streaks on any side of everything, blackjack or craps, but you get that. So did you make a little bit in that?
I did. I made, well, on craps I did, but then I played video poker. And you and I were talking about this pre-production, that video poker for me has been very cold lately. Like, I just feel like, and that's where I was talking about the superstition or the feeling of it. I feel like when I'm putting $100 in, I'm just literally throwing the $100 away, and I shouldn't feel that way. But I do, and then that ends up happening.
One thing I don't think we've talked about, or maybe we've alluded to it, and is 2 things. One is, do you always have a dollar amount? Because I told you I had a time amount when I stopped at
right.
Old Chunk. So when you stopped at Diamond Joe's and you were headed out west or back and forth, did you have a time amount or a dollar amount?
I had a dollar amount, and I would have been right on the dollar amount at about $200. But then I saw the 300, and I ended up dropping about $500 that day.
Which you're going to get 3 back, and we'll turn that into 6. But that'll be for
We're
another
going to turn it
episode.
into $6,000, right?
Yeah.
When the band gets back together.
Band is back together. But I think that's important. Maybe I think for me, I know it is to always set some limits on things, right? Because you can, I can, and so whether it's time or dollar amount, for your entertainment, because just like whether it's alcohol or food or gambling, right? I think you want to put some limits on it.
Yeah, one of the things too that I mentioned in the when we just kind of kicked off the show was playing with others in a casino. It's you think it's all going to be fun and games, but people gamble differently, and people have different risk tolerances, and they definitely have different emotional reactions to winning and losing. And
Well said.
I played with some guys that I was on a golf trip with, right? It was this charity thing that I'd committed to. And the golf part of it was charity based. And then it was like, hey, let's go to the casino and blow off some steam this evening, because we didn't particularly play well in the first day of the tournament. And I didn't like it because there's a bit of posturing that happens when you walk into a casino.
Were you guys pooling?
No, we weren't pooling, but some
But it
guys
was-
some
yeah.
guys wanted to. I didn't really want to pool, and then some guys wanted to show that they could or would
Yeah,
bet
sure.
a lot of money, and some were really conservative and didn't want to bet a whole lot of money. And when you're trying to keep everybody together and have some fun, you got to be on the same page.
So is this when you and I golf together and you play from the front tees and I play from the back tees?
This is really just kick Pete while he's down day,
Do
isn't
you remember when we were in Vegas though with TJ and we got paired up with Wadsworth and I played the back tee and I was rifling him over his cart because he was driving in front?
it? Yes.
That guy drove me crazy. If you're listening out there, Wadsworth, you got to call in or something, because send us we got to.
I'll tell you what, Sal, I've never seen someone literally write a guy off on the first tee faster than David. We got paired up with a guy in Vegas the couple trips ago, and it was TJ, myself, and David, and they threw a fourth in, and this guy had nothing but attitude from the time he pulled up. And David is a pretty darn good golfer and wants to play from the tips, and I, of course, do not play from the tips, as he mentioned. And this guy rubbed David the wrong way from the time he pulled up the tee box. And he right away pronounced that he had played on a mini tour somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was a putt-putt mini tour, because judging from his game, he wasn't very good. But David had the game face on it from that moment
I
on.
was so focused. And by the way, for the record and for our listeners, you and TJ wrote him off shortly after.
We
so
did.
it wasn't like I was the oldie impatient one, right?
Oh, this is a random?
Yeah, it's a rando.
Oh.
And he was a tool. He
Our
was a total
fourth
tool.
was flying in from Florida and couldn't make it, and so they just paired us up.
Yeah.
We made the best out of it. But anyways, so when you were golfing and we had Big T in here
Shout out
talking
for
about
Trevor, yeah.
the banker and thing, and we're going to have, I think Richard's going to come back, or not come back, he's going to come here. Richard
Yeah.
Walker,
I'm
the
gonna-
donkey, is going to talk about some golf. But
The
did you...
donkey. We could call him Rolling Richard or something like that, but I like the donkey better.
A lot of people call him the donkey.
Yeah.
But he's going to come in here and talk about it. Did you play any of those games when you were playing?
Oh, funny.
Or
You should ask
gambling
that.
games?
Thank you for the setup. On the second day, we were trying to think of a game because we were not doing well in this little tournament thing.
Please tell me you said, how about Canadian blackjack?
No, I did. No, I did not.
Why didn't you think of that? It could have been a very profitable for you.
Because my
I'm sorry. Keep going.
oh god, that was a fantastic. That's my favorite flight of my entire life.
Yeah,
when you
can
get off the
imagine.
flight and the guy owes you more than you paid for the flight. That's a fantastic feeling.
Okay, so did you win more than the golf cost? And what did you play?
But one of the guys said, "Have you guys ever heard of Banker?" And I said, "Funny, I heard something about that." That's all I said because I was a little worried that we'd be going up to $1,200 a hole. And he's like, he explained the whole game. You know, there's a banker on every hole. You can bet from 1 to 5 or whatever, right? And we ended up playing Banker. And it was a fun gambling golf game to play. And there's some strategy involved. Like I thought the Banker, really the only strategy is making sure everybody hits a good shot. Or if they don't hit a good shot, that you play well and beat them as the Banker. But the Banker can double all bets at the end. So the fourth person is the Banker who tees off. And that Banker can double all bets. So if two guys put it in the crap and they're only playing for $1 a piece, right? And the third guy stripes it down the middle, and he already announced he's playing for $10, and he doubles. If the Banker hits a great shot and doubles, he's doubling up the two $1 guys, but he's also doubling up the guy that's.
So all of a sudden it's $24.
It's actually 44, because the guy that hit the stripe doubled at 10, and now it's doubled again. So there's some risk involved with the Banker. You have to really think about how well positioned you are based on what people bet. And the one little tweak in the Banker that we played versus what Trevor described, and maybe Trevor plays the same way, is on all par threes, it's triple the amount if you call it out, but the ball has to be in the air when you call it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I know he was saying as it was in the air, but the difference is on a par 3, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
it can be 9 times if you're the Banker. So you step up and you and Sal step up and you say $5 and you hit it in the air and you say triple. Well, then that's a $15 bet, right? Well, then I get up and I'm the Banker and I stripe one in the air and I yell triple. Your bet goes from 15 to 45.
You're good at math.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Wow, I am like, you are mad at me for cheating on you, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know who we haven't cheated on is Duke Cannon, though. You've been talking about
I-
using their products for a really long time, right? I got
Yes.
to tell you a story about Duke Cannon.
You tell me a story about Duke Cannon.
And I won't be too descriptive, but I dropped the big ass bar of soap in the shower the other day.
Was there anybody
She's
else?
a bit
in-
heavy. That bar of soap's a bit heavy coming down. You got to watch the toes. That's the only bad thing about the Duke Cannon bars, because they are wonderful. Well, you can see there's the one right there. But they are big and thick, and they last a long time. But I dropped it, and I said, I'm going to bring that up on the podcast sometime.
So you hammered your toe with the big.
I got it
bar
out of the
soap.
way quick enough.
Okay. Probably a pretty good thud, huh? I have Duke Cannon in almost every travel bag, bathroom. That I
My
own.
daughters just the other day were up at the lake, and they asked for the Bloody Knuckles lotion. Right, it's perfect to put it on. Like, and it's the non-fragrant one.
Yeah.
I've got the big, the lip balm, right? So with the sunscreen, yeah, they're fantastic. They got a ton of products. We always do a shout out because they're an active support of our armed forces, and the proceeds of the sales go to support the military. So
Yeah.
you can pick it up at Target or your local hardware store.
Yeah, and we thank all of our veterans and all of our military service folks, and we're
Amen.
so thankful for Duke Cannon sponsoring those folks. So thank you, Duke Cannon, and thank you for sponsoring the Pull Tab Sports Network as well as us. So, yeah. What else do we have to talk about? We've got to talk a little bit about...
So we haven't talked about Sleeper. And I want to tell you just a quick story, and then I want to hear if you've been betting any. So I've got a bet coming up on the NBA Finals. I don't do that much, but I was down on a vacation with my girls and a couple of their friends. And one of the T-Wolves games that we were at, I had each one of them make a $10 bet.
Great.
And it was just a lot of fun. It was
Okay.
fun sitting there watching the game and being able to play. And rooting for Ant to get over 28.5 or whatever it was.
So how,
right,
did,
Luca?
how did you do that? I sorry to interrupt
So
you.
there were 4 of them, my 2 kids with their friends each. So
Okay.
I asked each one of them I'd put $25 down on a bet. So I said, who do you want? And we just went through the line, and we each picked 4. They picked, and we had 4 different bets.
So you're
The
sitting
funny
on-
thing was the T-Wolves were losing. It was a great run, a great season, T-Wolves.
Yeah.
We went to bed. It was a long day, and
Yeah.
we just ended up going to bed. In the morning, I woke up. I'm like, oh, we won 2 of them. So I actually made $60.
So you're on vacation and you guys had a great day. You did some stuff. And
Sitting
then,
by the pool, got the TV on. We're going to watch the Timberwolves game. I don't remember if it was
Yeah.
game 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. Can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, and so you and that makes people get more into the game, right? They want to watch their guy. They want their guy to get over points, right?
Yeah, we're jumping up and down for a 3-pointer to go in, and it really, right? Like
Yeah.
it was fun. It was the entertainment value of it, and it was something for us to do. We would have watched the game anyways, but it got us off our phones. All 5 of us sitting there, 6 of us, right? To have, we just had fun.
Right.
Have you made any?
Well, that's why I was looking, because I can't remember the last time I bet a sleeper bet, and
Okay.
I think it's been over a month. And I've won a fair amount of times, and I just
Whoa, look at you. We started out in episodes like the first 5 episodes. You were 0 for 25.
it was 0 for 25.
So did we just hear you correctly? You were a little bit off a mic there. You've won a fair amount of times. Is that what Prop Bet Pete just
I
said?
have won a fair amount of times.
Please share.
Because I decided I wasn't going to bet the 5 and 6 ways anymore, which you guys have been
Sal,
razzing me
But
about.
he does listen, yeah.
Let's hear a couple of the
So I
wins.
won some 3-ways. I won a 4-way here. There's a 3-way. There's a 2. Yeah. So little pocket bets, right? $10, $15 here. You pick up 30. You pick up 25. You pick up, and then once in a while I'll throw down a $20 bet and I'll win $45. So, from my horrible start, I've come back tremendously. I think I got sick of it and got a little disgruntled because I lost about 3 in a row at the end. And I started looking up stats and doing some more research and realized that you have to treat Sleeper or those type of sites without full-on sports betting in Minnesota as entertainment value only. There's no way you can think you're going to win a lot of money because they're such a long shot. People don't realize statistically how difficult it is to win a sleeper bet.
If we do have a listener, though, that's an expert, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, if we have anybody out there.
You want to give any
Yeah.
tips to anybody, right? I think I'd love to hear some of them. I try to do some. I look at where everybody's trending. Like I've looked and said, 98% of the people are betting this way, and I bet on it, and sure as shit, it goes the other way. I'm like, so the next time I go with the 2% and I lose, I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Don't bet the house. That's the stories. And speaking of houses, Custom One Homes. Custom One Homes, one of our sponsors. They build custom homes. They've been doing it for a long time. They've got a ton of awards. They're on the Parade of Homes. They've been on the Artisan Home Tour. I think you called it the Artesian Home Tour last time.
I was
You'd
giving you a
think he
little tilde or whatever those things are called.
They've got 40-plus years of experience, which is hard to find in a builder because a lot of builders don't last that long. So if you are looking for a home or looking for the help designing or building a home, feel free to stop by their website. It's customhomesmn.com, and we thank them for their...
We wouldn't be here without them. We wouldn't be out here without
Sponsorship.
Sal. And
Yeah, exactly.
so it is golf season. So next time I think the donkey's coming in. He's
So-
a character himself
The donkey.
with a name like the donkey.
The donkey is actually experienced at this podcast thing. Maybe he can teach us a thing or two, right?
We'll have to maybe tone him down. He's got a business podcast, so I don't think I'm just kidding. But we'll have it'll be a delight for him to be here. Sal, you'll really enjoy him. I think you've crossed paths with him before, as we talked about, and we'll talk about golf, and you and I are going to be playing some golf.
Right.
So you know what we should do is do a couple little shorts and little videos, and maybe do a little gambling while we're out there. We did with the 5 questions. We haven't had a guess. We should have like a $100 bet and come back.
Well, we're going to do some 5 questions.
Long drive,
Okay,
most birdies.
You win that one. You win that one.
he's
Okay.
he's really picking them.
Wow, he's picking amazing.
Yeah.
It's interesting. We're going to be playing some golf with Sal this weekend, and we're going to celebrate some fruits of our labor and enjoy our time, and maybe play some pull tabs, I'm thinking, as well. And David and I will do some betting on the golf course, and we'll update you on that. Looking forward to having Richard in for the 5 questions. And I think today we cut this one short, and we're at about time. So
If you're listening to us for the first time or just a couple times, remember _gambling guys. You can find us on Spotify, on YouTube, and Instagram, and some other YouTube shorts out there.
Yeah.
But really appreciate. Good to see you again, Prop Bet Pete, and I no longer will cheat on you. Sal, always good to have you on the back behind the curtain.
we're all good. Sal, thank you so much for all your support.
Absolutely.
Shout
Love
out
being here.
Shout out to you and your family, and we'll see you guys next time.
And Sal, play well in the next 8 days.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Cheers.
I'll survive.
All right, guys. We are out.